I've heard it said that if you took the Bible and threw it all away, but just kept the Beatitudes that we listened to today, you could most likely go to heaven, because the Beatitudes encapsulate everything that's in the Old Testament and everything in the New Testament. And Jesus does it profoundly with just a few words, a few great words. In reflecting on the gospel today, it's all about the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes are the way to really show that you're a Christian. And as Pope Francis said in a homily last year, it's our ID card. You can print that and put it on an ID card and put it in your pocket and look at it every once in a while, because if you look at the Beatitudes, that is exactly who you are. As Pope Francis says, you must follow the Beatitudes if you're a Christian, if you want to live as a Christian. But the Beatitudes today are not popular in our country or in our world at all. They're totally out of fashion and pretty much out of sync with everything that is going on. And because of this, we are torn apart and demoralized by every blowing wind. Blessed are the poor in spirit, Jesus says. Wealth in the bottom line is not the most important thing for a Christian. It's not important at all for God. He could care less how much you have in the bank. And the bottom line should not be important for you as well. Jesus tells us in the Our Father that we will be saying in a few minutes, give us today, this day, our daily bread. He doesn't say anything about a 401k plan or storing things up. They're not bad ideas, don't get me wrong, but this cannot be your God. Jesus tells us, give us this day our daily bread, what we need for today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. The world does not do this, as we see. You'll notice those who are rich and those who store things up have it all in the here and now. They're self-satisfied. God reminds us, blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. The world tells us that comfort and happiness and social media and entertainment are the best things in life. I spent an hour on Facebook yesterday, and all I saw was fighting. Fighting from 1 minute to the last 60 minutes. I couldn't actually take more than 60 minutes of it. People fighting over politics, even parishes infighting. This is craziness. Jesus tells us when things get rough, the world will always look the other way. I think today it is looking the other way about refugees. Because in Deuteronomy, God tells us, show your love for the alien, for you too were aliens in the land of Egypt. Let us not forget that. Our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-parents were all aliens. This is not to say that we are not a country of laws. We must obey the law. There must be vetting. We just can't let everybody and his brother in. This is craziness. However, we owe it to the refugees, to the alien, to the orphan, for you too once were aliens and orphans. We owe it to the Indians at Standing Rock, for the world might not look the other way, but be with those Indians. May the Great Spirit protect them. The world might look the other way, but we can no longer look the other way. We must stand for life from its inception till its death. We have to. God is the creator of life. No one wants to suffer. We prefer to ignore painful situations and cover them up. Only the persons who see things as they are with a clear eye, a person whose heart breaks at the news with a clear eye, Jesus says, will be happy and will be comforted. Thanks to the consolation of Jesus, not the consolation that the world offers, we have hope. You see, we live in a very fickle world. I've never seen it so fickle. Blessed are the meek in this world, which is filled with wars and arguments and hatred, and that's just on Facebook. I know I spent that hour yesterday, and it nearly broke my heart. And Jesus says no to war, and no to hatred, and peace to all. Peace and meekness. Jesus tells us today that the meek will inherit the earth. Not the powerful, but the meek. These aren't my words. These are your Savior's words. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. It's so easy to become part of the problem. Everything becomes just business. How much injustice does that approach in life cause? And how many people in our world suffer because of injustice? We see it all too well. And Jesus said, blessed are they who fight against injustice in all of its forms, in whatever way it is served up, hot or cold. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. The merciful people who really don't have enough, who forgive and understand the mistakes of others. We must forgive and understand the mistakes of others because we ourselves make so many mistakes, each and every one of us. Forgiveness is a big thing in our life that we need. Jesus did not say, blessed are they who seek an eye for an eye or revenge of any sort. As Christians, we cannot seek an eye for an eye or revenge in any of its forms. Blessed are they who forgive and who are filled with mercy. The kind of forgiveness that Jesus tells Peter, you must forgive 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Jesus is saying, you must always forgive, and it's never ending. We are all members of that club that needs forgiveness. There's not one of us here that doesn't need forgiveness at some point in their life. We all make mistakes, and we all have been forgiven. Amen. That is why blessed is he who forgives, because we're pretty much all in the same boat. And blessed are the pure of heart, those who have a simple and pure heart with no guile, a heart that knows how to love and how to love with generosity. We're not taking anything with us. Blessed are the peacemakers, finally. When we are surrounded by a world who loves war and who thrive on misunderstandings, blessed, blessed are the peacemakers. When we sometimes repeat something from one person to another and another and another, and it goes on finally to someone else, and it's amplified and taken out of context, it is the peacemakers many times who stand in. People who gossip. People who gossip do not make peace. They are the enemies of peace. They are not blessed at all, gossips. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness. How many people today are persecuted? So many throughout the world. A very simple plan for living is laid out today in the Beatitudes. It's a plan for hope, and it's so simple, but so difficult. because we have our own opinions. We don't always take Jesus' word or his opinion. That's why it's so difficult. And Jesus said, if we are searching for more, Jesus gives us another indication written in the Gospel of Matthew. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was ill, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you took time to visit me. With the Beatitudes, in the last reading that I read from Matthew, this is the entire Christian life. Amen.